So I'm laying here on my bed journaling. I just had an amazing conversation with a dear friend, and it was very expansive. And I thought, I'm going to come lay down, and it's one of my most favorite things to do is kind of sprawl out on top of my bed and journal. Either I take my phone and I use OneNote because it's always with me, and so when I have thoughts, I just write them down in my journal on my OneNote. But today was a pen and paper kind of journaling. And so I wanted to write down all the awarenesses I got because we really support each other in our awakening journey and helping when we're going through stuff. And as I was writing, I'm like, you know what, Jen? All of these things and these awarenesses that you're getting and the stuff that you're going through in your life is pretty valid. And a lot of people are having the same kind of issues happening. And a lot of times they don't have words or definitions or understandings behind what's going on. And I thought, how is it fair for me to keep it kind of in my journal and not share it with you so that I can help? And if I'm able to help one person, I'm pretty excited because a lot of things in my life has led me to where I am right now with the awarenesses that I'm able to receive and get for myself and for others. So it can be pretty vulnerable for me to jump on here. It's one of those things that I've been pretty nervous about, is just kind of showing up right here, right now, me, this is who I am, where I am at in my life, and what I look like. And I didn't brush my hair, and it wasn't like I was getting ready to come on, and not that I really wear makeup and stuff, but just me right here, right now. And I'm going to try to do more of that, just kind of jumping on and chatting and really showing you what it's like to live very awakened life, but also how that looks normally. And what I was talking about with my dear friend was just stuff that was happening in my life that was going on. And I've had a lot of awarenesses this last couple of weeks, and also a lot of really amazing support from people, earth angels, honestly, from, one of my daughters to my dear friend that I've been talking about a couple of times, to a past friend that I'm getting reacquainted with a couple of people that I've actually learned a lot from. Teachers, facilitators, coaches, and kind of coming a little bit full circling back with some people. And what was coming up for me was, to be really raw, was something that I actually thought I'd really done, which I know I actually have done a lot of work on, but more so, how do I put it? It's amazing how much you can do all of this work and all this awakening and really, really work on loving yourself. And I've done that work, and yet still stuff comes up. And that's okay. It's like, I kind of look at it like delayering an onion or percentages. And we were talking about percentages today, and it's like, we could have shifted through something that was like such a big deal in our life and caused so much pain in our lives. And we could be like 85% cleared of that. And yet we dwell on the 15%, which is really, if you think about it, kind of crazy. So that's kind of what I was doing. But what was coming up was like not being important enough to people. I've had a lot of work that I've had to do with really feeling comfortable in friendships. Like, I feel super comfortable when it comes to family and, working with clients and things like that. But with friendships, I've had a lot of stuff happen in my life when I was younger that I realized I've, let me hold back from really diving deep into deep relationships with women specifically. And so I've really been working on that in the last couple of years, and really opening myself up to believing that I, am important enough to have these kind of really amazing, deep, lasting, long-lasting, wonderfully expansive, cooperative relationships with dear women. And so I've been working on that. And what came up for me today was a little bit more on that. And it was interesting how my body when my body wants to let go, I cry. And so and it shakes and shivers and it just kind of comes up because it wants to come out of my body. It wants to leave. So I let it now. Before I used to judge that. And now I just let it come up because it's so good. Because when it comes up and I release and let go, it's just, draining a little bit from the body's perspective from crying. But it just lightens you up and feels so awesome. So if you're hearing any sounds in the back, that's I have a large family and a lot of happening going on around my house, so that's just happening there. Anyways, so I was getting awarenesses that it's on top of just your own belief systems, your own paradigms, your own identity issues, stuff that's happening in relationships with yourself and with your loved ones, that there's so much cosmic stuff that also happens. And we are living in a time right now that is so redonkulously strong cosmologically speaking. And I haven't talked a lot about that before on my social media. So I thought I might bring that up because whether or not you're aware of it or not, cosmic happenings affect us a lot. And if we don't have terminology or words for it, we feel honestly, sometimes we feel like we're going crazy. So with that being said, we just had a major solar eclipse. And we had, I think it was back on the 25th, so we had a lunar eclipse. So we're sandwiched between a lunar eclipse and a solar eclipse, plus the strongest solar flares apparently that have ever been witnessed around here. And then I don't know much about Mercury and retrograde and stuff like that, but a lot of this stuff is happening right now. And when you're sitting inside of that, it's like a pressure cooker, because what happens is when all this stuff happens in the cosmos, it's happening to have us energetically shift with it, because energy is always there. It's always happening. And it was like a pressure cooker that was occurring, which a lot of it has been able to be released since the solar eclipse on Monday, and it's Thursday now. But in essence, I was feeling that pressure. I'm talking redonkulous pressure in my face, in my head, headaches, crazy. I've been having them for a long time and they were pretty steady. And that pressure that was happening was not just cosmic, but it got accentuated from the cosmic influences that were occurring. But majority of the pressure was coming from my own thoughts about what life needed to look like for me, and all the pressure I was putting on myself, not from anyone else, but myself, and the decisions I made that things had to look certain ways with my business, with my family, with my life. And I was putting all that pressure on myself. And then I didn't know which way to go in my day because there was just so much stuff, which I'm sure we all feel, this overwhelming burden to take care of everything. And that pressure was coming to my head, and I couldn't. And then of course it was a cyclical cycle, because pressure in my head means I can't even think, let alone do anything, which I need all these things I wanted to do. So that came up, and when I let go, when I saw it from the help of all these beautiful people in my life, and I was able to look at the beliefs I'd created around what my business needed to look like, what pressure I was putting on myself in terms of that. And I allowed myself to really just say, no more. That belief system about all of that, it doesn't matter. And when I allowed myself to let go of everything and put context into why and what I was doing by carrying other people and and making it mean something that it didn't mean from other people. And I was able to just recontextualize it, redecide, and let go of all of those should do's, have to do's, and ought to do's. The pressure released. Oh my God. And I have not had a headache since last Thursday. So it's been a week. I have not had a clear head since months and months and months. So just that relief alone is mind-blowingly amazing. That with the realizations I got today about me still holding on to, for me, I was like maybe 10% of this not feeling important enough in relationships with other dear women, which of course isn't true, but I was making it be true. And then I was almost like mirroring that to, and it was being shown back to me because we are loved so much. Those things get mirrored back to us. And I don't really talk a lot about mirroring, but this one for sure, I think, was being shown that back to me through relationships, what I was feeling about myself. And so I declare I'm important enough. And I love that because I can shift it like that when I get the realizations, and it's just like, oh, that's not true. That's like such a subconscious belief that is I'm holding cellularly, but it doesn't exist anymore in my life. It's not who I be anymore. And when I look at how amazing and all the things that I love about myself is there, I'm just like, okay, thank you, goodbye. Right? And what we don't understand is it can be that easy. Okay, thank you, goodbye. And so I say, okay, thank you, and goodbye. And I really claim, and I really reclaim, and I really honor who I am and who I be with all my fallacies. And just wanted to let you know that this work can get done and it can be beautiful, and we can live these most expansive, thriving life. And that being said, there's other stuff happening in the cosmos, in the universe, with our higher levels, with the solar system, and all of that is happening for us, not to us. And if we're aware of that and we're aware of all this cosmic stuff happening, it helps us lessen the burden on ourselves, understand that there's other factors involved, and able to take a breath and look and not make it be so serious and love ourselves more, and just I decided I'm going to have a love affair with myself, just create beautiful relationship with myself, because if we can do it with ourselves, we can have that with anything. And so I'm really going to play with that. And that's why I'm laying here in the middle of the day, journaling and taking care of me. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives a little bit of context of what's going on. And I'm going to do my best to show up a little bit more here, be vulnerable, tell it like it is, and hopefully I can help and just share on the journey together. Thanks so much for listening. Have an awesome day.